Hello and welcome to another simulation session. And in this session, we will do live stream, do simulation of 1st of April. So, starting from Delhi, if we look at Delhi, the Delhi is stuck in consolidation zone. So, just by looking at Delhi, it is obvious that we are in consolidation and playing ranges will be more feasible. If we look at weekly time frame, the weekly candle is bearish and today the weekly candle will close. So just by looking at weekly, we also don't know where prices can move, but in monthly we can see the monthly candle is closing bearish but bullish, but with a rejection of 1300 pips. So can't get any usable information based on daily, weekly, or monthly other than the fact that we are in consolidation. So if I look at 4 hour time frame, in 4 hour I can also see a lot of consolidation. So I am not expecting breakouts today, and I will be playing with small ranges. And so yeah, let's start. So we will do at 1300 hours, starting from 1300 hours. If you look at the hourly candles are creating a support and we up. And if I look at usually normally I look for buys whenever the hourly candles are bullish. But if I look at a 15-minute time frame, the 15-minute candles are breaking below the lows of each other previous candles. So I can see that uh, creating buy positions will not be wise at this point. And if I look at M30 candle has closed bearish. So if I am to execute sells, this was my sell which I have already missed. And yeah, right in here I want to execute a sell position by placing a stop loss of around 23 pips for potential take profit of 46 pips. So we will let this run. And on the other hand, we are also looking for support formation in M5 time frame for buys. If that happens, we will be careful and we will manage our trade. So now we need M50 candle has closed. Irish M30 candle has also broken below the previous M30 candle low. Now we need to see what is the probability of this minor playing out. So in my opinion, the probability of that support playing out is low. But if I look at, so I will just hold this trade for now. I am not break if this trade and my stop loss are the same above this M50 highs, which is around 24 pips. Now the M5 candle has closed with at the bottom and now prices are moving up. So technically means that we have created a at 1931 area, but just by looking at this area and this area, I am not anticipating prices to break above the highs of M30 candle and continue up. But if that happens, we will manage our stop. Now the M30 candle has closed as bearish, but again we are respecting previous low of the low of previous H1 bar, and M15 candle has also closed bullish but with a rejection. So there is still probability for prices to push down, but on the other hand can also push up. So I will just hold it for now, and my potential take profit is at 1929. Now we are up around 20 pips on this trade, and I am still holding sells till 1929 area, and now I will also look at how the H1 candle will close. So we need to be very careful at the hourly close because hourly candle may push up. So yeah, for now waiting makes much more sense because everything for sales is in our favor. Now if I look at, I am only up around 36 pips. I will do 75% break even and let the rest run. I am anticipating can drop 45 more pips, and on the other hand I will also look at how I can execute more sell position. Now if I look at M1, I was anticipating that what is the importance of this area. We created an area of interest in M1 time frame, we broke up and now we are breaking down, but now this area usually works, but there are some other factors that were indicating sells. That's why I was confident for sells. I hold. Now the hourly candle is dropping. I will close everything at 1985, 1925. And on the other hand, I am also not anticipating prices to break above previous M5 candle highs. If that happens, I will be out of my position and I will wait and execute later on. Yeah, right in here. If I look at, we are already up around 63 pips. So it is, I will be closing all and I will just wait for another trade. Now the H1 candle has closed with no wick at the bottom. So essentially that technically means we can still push down, but we also need some other factors to be on our side to execute these cells. For now, those factors are not present. That's why I just closed my trade. Now, We have a news coming in 1 hour US dollar, and we will also look at and anticipate how can execute. Now this was also a breakout trade, but the take profit for this trade is strictly around 20 pips. I don't like these breakout trades because usually because it has happened after 63 pips of move, maybe we can push up. That's why I was concerned. And yeah, now we are dropping to 1920 area, and I am planning to execute 4 trades, but for that I am also waiting for some confirmation. Now if I look at H4 in more details, I can see that we are approaching versus support at 1980 area, and we have also created resistance at 1937 area, and there isn't enough volume for breakout today, but there is a news, high impact news is coming. Maybe can drop, and if up around in this area 1932 area, I will again be looking for sells. Yeah, now there is just patience. I am just waiting. Now if I look at M30 candle has closed with no information, but if two M30 candles closes like that, there will be probability for prices to be up in this 50. For now, I will not execute sells for execute buys. For buys, I want M30 candle to close bullish. And if I look at M5, there was my trade for around 13 pips. I am very concerned about this area to the left side. We are approaching towards a support area. That's why I didn't execute. And news is coming in around 3 minutes from now. Look at all right. I was anticipating this that M30 candle is creating a lower wick. We created a support in M5 and up, but still I will not execute the trade. I want better execution, and I already took one trade for today, and 2 trades are left for today. So yeah, now the M30 candle has closed bullish. If you take above previous M30 candle high, can continue up in this 34 pips of range. But the high impact news is coming, and I will not execute in first 2 minutes of this H1 candle. H1 candle has also closed bullish. I am basically very much concerned about the puts to the left. Now the M5 candle has closed bullish. I was planning to execute buys in here for this 33 pips of range. So, but the issue becomes we have high impact news coming in 20 minutes. So, will there be a volume for prices uh, to move for that news? I am concerned about that. And if I look at M1, the volume is dying. So I am anticipating can close bearish in M5 time frame. Maybe we can push down, but we are pushing up, and I am anticipating to take my positions off at 1933. And on the other hand, I am not anticipating prices to break below 1928 area, the previous M5 candle. So yeah, it is comics right now. I will take stop loss at 1928 area. So we have broken below previous M5 candle low in M5 time frame, and I was anticipating to take my stop loss. Now at this point we know that the news is coming in 5 minutes, and we are already up a little bit. So I will just close 50% of position, and this is my stop loss, and I will close entire thing 1 minute before news. Yeah, right now I will close everything. So now the news is coming in around 30 seconds. So I will anticipate where prices can potentially move. I will stick with sells. I highly believe that once we break below 1927 area, we are pushing down, and we are pushing till 1920 area. I am not looking for buys. The reason being we are pushing down, we created wave 1, retracement wave 2, and this is retracement for prices to potentially move till 1920 area on news. So, but I am not allowed to take a news trade, so I will not execute a position. So this is the news candle, and first 20 seconds have been passed, and now I can execute a news. So if I look at, I am anticipating sells below 1927 area, and on the other hand I am also anticipating buys above 1932 area. And news has already passed. There was effect. So yeah, right in here I will execute trade. My stop loss goes above the highs, and it is a new trade, but I took that trade 1 minute after the news. So I have high hopes for this trade, potentially push prices till 1920 area, but I may be wrong. So I will also manage my risk. I am not anticipating prices back above 1931. So now wait a second. Now if I look at actually uh, my stop loss right in here, and yeah. Now if I look at M50 candle, which was initially bearish, has turned bullish right now. But I will not execute a trade now, I will just wait. So I essentially got stopped out. Wait a second, I have placed wrong stop loss. My stop loss is this area, 40 pip stop. Essentially, I have placed a stop loss above M30 candle, which means that we break above this area if we are to move up. But technically, I believe that we have created wave 1, wave 2, and there is probability for prices to create a wave 3, potentially push the prices down. Now, the M5 candle has closed bullish, M15 has not closed yet, so we need to wait for 5 more minutes. I am not anticipating prices to break above 1932. That happens, I out. So now I took my stop loss and prices has already broken above M30 high. Now I want to execute buy position because we have retested this area, so maybe we can push up 34 pips first, and then if the volume is with us we can move till 1938. So for those buys I need to wait. If I am to execute buys, this is my stop loss around 40 pips. I do believe that we can continue to push up straight because we have done some action in here, but I can't execute a position here. The reason being my stop loss is way too big. So I will just wait for the candle to close. Now, wait a second. So the M30 candle up first and pushed down and then again pushed up. And M5 candle is closing like this. So I will give my initial idea a second chance that if we are creating a third high for prices to potentially down. Was my second chance to the same bias. Now, if I look at H1 candle has closed with a weak rejection from top, but we are still close above the, and if I look at M30, the M30 candle is closed bearish. We have done some action, but we are still above the support. And sells are way too risky, and so are the buys. And I also know that from higher time frame that I am not anticipating any breakouts today, and this trade is in around 40 pip profit. So I will take some percentage of the position, break even the position. And now we are in bad spot for any trades. For sales, we need to break below 1923. Even if we break below 1923, the there is very little range to left. So I will just wait a little bit. Alright, we created a weak rejection from the lows. This rejection is around 31 pips. 31 pips, which essentially isn't a very good indicator, because if we are to move up, there was point for prices to create a 31 pips of rejections from the low. So I will close 85% of position, and that stop loss somewhere in here, because if we are to move down, we should respect this area. And I don't think so that we down, because there are a lot of support left, and the price action also indicates that there is little to no. So I will just wait, and I will just call it a day and move on to another day in an hour. Now wait a second. So if I look at the current M5 candle respected the M5 high, and there is a range left to be filled, which is around 31 pips. So I should execute a position if we break below previous M5 low. Around 8 pips away. Yeah, my stop loss for this trade is 1927. This is just based on M5 and M50 time frame, that if we are creating, we are moving down, creating a support at this area, what's the probability if we break below that support, that we continue down. And also if I get time, we are approaching towards high volume times, is usually NYSE open. That's why I execute the trade. Otherwise, I wouldn't even bother to execute. And this is my stop loss above previous M5 candle high at 19. Yeah, I got stopped out on my second book. And yeah, the take profit for this trade was only 7 pips. Prices went into profit. I should have break even the position, because I know that the price action, I don't like the price action in here. M5 has closed, but still there is probability prices to go down, because just by looking at H1, I can anticipate some down move, but there is no way I can execute the position here, so I will just wait for M30 can close. Now the M30 candle has closed, and M30 candle has closed bearish. Also bearish, we respected the previous M50 high, and actually for my trade I should have placed a stop loss above the previous M5, which is also M50 candle high. That was the mistake I made, and now the M50 candle is bullish, and yeah, it makes sense for prices to get a here and push up, because today markets are moving in waves. We have created another wave. I can anticipate some push down from this area, but that didn't happen. So we will just wait for others and go on to the next day. Actually, this was my trade because we created a M50 low right in here, and we were expecting this area. Once we break above this area, I should have executed buys potentially till this range. Paid out now. Although the M30 candle is close, but there are a lot of issues. The issue is that there isn't any enough volume for prices the moment up. Also, we have another resistance in around 70 pips. I will just wait and let's see if I can find some. All right, all right. If we are the previous M30 candle close, what is the probability that the next M30 candle will also close? The probability is high, but if I look at today price action, there are not a lot of candles closing bullish or bearish consecutively, so I will be concerned. Else there was trend, I would have executed right in here by placing a stop loss of 7 pip. I was targeting 46 pip of area, but this type of price action I will not execute that position. Yeah, you see, now we are pushing down again up till this area, and so this was the price action that we anticipated. Made a little bit of profits, made around US dollar initially, lost 6 trade, again made $60, so we are up around, which is around 40 pips. So moving forward to the next day, actually I will skip days, some other type of price action. Now, yeah, today is 18th of April, and just by looking at monthly candle has turned bullish. What is the probability that we can continue up? If we look at weekly, the weekly candle has closed bullish. We created a very strong at 1919. Yeah, so there is very high probability that we will fill this entire range, but we are also approaching a resistance at 1990 area. If I look at daily, there was volume in daily candles, and now we have created the first daily candle which closed fish. Can test these lows, create a support in here, prices to up, because usually one candle is not a trend reversal. But if I look at one, two, four candles are closed. Four daily candles have created a high in the same area. Maybe that is little bit of concern. So I will be looking for sales for prices potentially till the range till 1960. Yeah, that H4. Although we are pushed up, but with still to no volume, and there are a lot of consolidation. So this type of market structure, you get buys and sells. Even though the trend is bullish, there is probability that we can get sells even in a bullish trend. So moving forward to 1300 hours. All right. So if I look at 13 now, the H4 candles up straight. H1 are also bullish. If I look at it, I'm just above all the areas to left. So there may be probability for sells, but the sells are way too risky. Here, I will just wait for something that I can recognize from past, and I will only execute on that setup. H1 has also closed a little bit bearish, so I can that we can correct this entire move, 70 pips of move. But for that, I also layer indicate. Now, if we break below M5 low by placing a stop loss of I am planning to execute sells because the previous M30 candle has closed bearish. So I will just wait. Now let's place our sell stop as we anticipated, and at the position run. This is my stop loss 1993.9 area, and we are targeting essentially this 16 pips of range first. If the volume is with us, we can continue down, but for that we need. And if I look at hourly, we are breaking below hourly candle low, but that doesn't mean we continue down. Very careful. Now the issue becomes the range is very small, and also today is Monday. Mondays are usually low volume days, although we can see some good move on Monday, but I can see that today is not that day because there are a lot of mess earlier on in the time frames, but we will stick with our idea. We will here now. Yeah, now the prices have reached our target area. Now we need choice. Just by looking at hourly, I can anticipate that we will push in this push till 1985 area. But as I can see based on 4-hour daily and other time frames, that higher time frame trend is bullish. So if I look at daily, the daily even above the entire range. So on the other hand, we are also concerned that may push up based on higher time frame trend. So at this point, I have to make choice if I will hold this position or take it off. So if I look at my position has only 20 pips of risk, and the probability of it working out is high because if I look at daily, we are pushing up, we were creating this resistance, we break above that resistance. Maybe price is creating a fake out, but remember that it is just an anticipation, and because I have got some good execution, so I will be holding this trade, and if I am to execute another trade, I will not execute just by looking on higher time frame approach. Yeah, we will be up around 28 pips. So patience makes much more sense, and I am anticipating prices to drop till 1985 area, but I can be wrong. Now if I look at, we are having some profits of 50 US dollars. We are pushing down. The previous M30 candle closed with at the bottom. There are a lot of confusions involved based on the fact that we are approaching this support area, and also the M30 candle has closed with wick at the bottom. Generally, it means retracement. So what we now the M5 candle has closed bearish. M30 also created an upper wick. Maybe there is probability for prices to push till 1985 area. So although we are approaching this, now we are around 60 US dollars up on this position, and we have broken this support area, but still price can do a fake out, so it may be a fake out. So we need just very careful. All right, M5 candle closed bearish, M15 also closed, but the body of the M15 candle is small. So what I will take 35% out of this because I am anticipating that prices will push down areas. So we will let the rest run. It got stopped out above these M5 highs. There are a lot of issues for prices in this area. So maybe we can consolidate down or up. Now the M50 candle has also closed. M15 candle has closed. Very small body candle, and M30 has also closed a small body fish candle. Now the idea becomes we also of this area for up, and yeah, M5 candles are closing side by side, and M5 candles are closing side by side after a massive move down. Essentially, that we have little interest in moving down. Yeah, at this point, I will close the entire position because of the volume. All right, now if I see we are pushing up, we have broken above and what is the that M30 candle can close bullish in next 5 minutes and prices can continue. So if I look at by placing a stop loss of 7, there is chance for me to get the 32 pips. And if the volume is thus, we can even break this high because daily has already broken up the highs. If a little bit, I will advise loss and another buy above 1980. But in some cases that also gets broken. But I do believe that it will not be that case scenario because we are still respecting higher time frame trend. So I will also execute one more buys in here at it. This is my stop loss around 19. At M1 time frame, the candle side for me because if we are breaking above this area, the price should up. So we also need a scenario in mind where we have created a high and maybe we are retesting this high for prices to down later on. So we also need to keep that in account. So once the hourly candle closes and if it low, yes, hourly candle highs, which essentially it a retest and we careful with buys and we may get to chance to execute sells. I look at M5 are open, I will close the later position because I want to lose a lot on this trade and Now the M5 candle has, and hourly candle has also closed, but now the idea that I capitalized on by placing buy trade above breakout, I closed that position below the previous M5 low. Actually, I should have placed this 11 pips of stop loss. I shouldn't have closed that position. And now the H1 candle is closing this. There is still probability that we can retest this high and drop, but just by looking at price action, it's like the probability of that setup is low. So we will just stick with our buys and we will manage this position. Now at this point I need very careful. If I look at my history, I made around 48 US dollar in this, and we are up around 35 US dollars. So essentially that means we are up around 5 US dollars. At out of my, I still believe that we can continue up, but things can happen otherwise. Now we have broken above that H1 area. Now I need to based on higher time frame where prices can. So if I look at H1, H4 can move this 100 pips of range, and the trend is bullish. There is high probability can do so, but there on the other hand there is also a probability that we can do out and reverse. Both scenarios in mind, and right in here I will close 10%, and once we break below M15 candle low I will close entire thing. There is still some probability prices to up, but anything at any point in time can happen, so very careful. I have took some profits out of this position, that's why I was able to hold this thing, else I would have closed everything once we break below previous M5 candle low. So essentially this thing is my stop loss now. Now if I look at, yeah, in more details, I can see that we have broken above this area once, got rejected. We broken above this area twice, we got rejected thrice, four times. Have broken above the highs four times, but we still got rejected. So essentially that means either the up volume is dying or we will reject from this area. So these are two scenarios that I am keeping in mind. And there are no sells for now, and I will not execute a sell position because everything is bullish now for now. So I will just take a stop loss below this M5 candle low for the current position, and yeah, now we have broken above that area sixth time. So that's in past I used to lose this kind of scenarios where we kept on breaking above the highs, and if it was me months back, I would have taken four losses in a row in here, and on the fifth one I would have closed everything at this point. So which so I basically at break even at losing losses at the end of day. So I have drastically changed my trading in past few months. So I hope that my trading will continue to as I will continue to add more scenarios in my trading. And now we are up around $60 closed everything. Now we will just wait. We will wait for retracement. We will wait for formation for prices potentially up. But there are no sells, so I will fast forward these candles till M30 candle close. Now the M30 candle has closed. M30 candle has closed a wick of around 30 pips. There is another trade formation. If we respect these M5 lows, we can push up in this 31 of range. But I have seen that the I I loses a lot in this sort of setups, so I will just wait. I will try to get a better execution, and I may not execute wise at all because this type of trade pattern bad position. Yeah, you see. Now need to look at if it is a high formation, or if we are moving down to for prices to potentially find a support somewhere and push. Yeah, so these are two scenarios in my mind, and if we break below the area we can push down in this 45 bips of range. Wait a second. So the previous M15 candle has closed, H1 also closed with a rejection. What is the probability that once the M5 candle has broken below the previous M5 candle low, what is the probability that we can break this area and continue down? So essentially there is a probability that, but the probability is low. I will be executing a lot, and I am this trade is only valid, very risky trade, and it is only valid once we break below this area. Other than that, it is not a valid trade. But have broken below that area. I am. I will. So I can say that it was at least 30 bits. But these sort of price actions are very messy, very difficult, and very and there are a lot of mess in them. I will not any recommend any beginner to execute or a sort of trade patterns. Now, if the M5 candle closes bullish and the next one breaks above its the bullish M5 candle high, that's the point where I will close everything. Other than that, I will just hold. M5 candle has closed bullish. Now, if we break above this M5 candle high, I will out of take myself out of this position because that essentially means that prices have found based in M5 time frame, and based on higher time frame the trend is maybe we can fill this entire range. So the idea is not always about profit. The idea is also to protect our trading account and only execute on the reason to only execute the edge that you have practiced on. So if we break above this area, the reason that I practiced on the edge will not be there. So there my position should be there also. So the M30 candle has closed. Now that we can put 1980 are also already 35 as it was small. I will 10% that the done everything out at 19. So price reached 1989 and I didn't close the position. I was at this price action because here's the thing. If the M30 candle is closed, which was the probability that next and also the probability high, so I should have executed position here for potential take profit of 26 pips by placing a stop loss of it. But I didn't do that because was I was looking at my trade. So this my position. I want this. We have approached our take profit. Yeah. Now at this point, H1 has closed bearish, has closed bearish, but with a rejection. Can only execute sells from the top or buys from. As the prices are inside the range, there is nothing for me to execute on. Now if I look at the previous M30 candle close bearish and the next one break above this M30 candle high but didn't sustain its momentum. Now what's the probability that current M30 candle will down in this 27 pips of range? So the probability is high but the range is small, so I will execute this trade with a small position provided that we didn't break above previous M5 candle high and we should break below previous M5 candle low in order to execute as we have broke off the high. So now again wait for candle. Now the bearish candle has formed and if we take below this M50 low we can push down in this 20 pips of range, but there are a lot of supports to left. and and this trade is very messy right now. I will just pass on from this trade. Now the M30 candle has closed, M30 candle has closed bearish, and now there is high probability for prices to down, provided that we respect the M30, M50 highs. So go with full risk on this trade, but remember that there are a lot of consolidations. Also, there are a lot of the range is full. I was planning to execute it with my full risk, but I will just execute very small position because I don't like the price action in here, and I will take this take profit below the support levels at 1985 area. That happens, I good. If doesn't happen, I will just call it a day. Now the M5 and M50 candle has potentially approached our target zone, but I have taken that position that we will take through that support and continue till 1985 area. So I will just wait. The 1985 area has approached. Now I will close everything, and also I will look at how I can execute this trade with my full risk, because there were few reasons I didn't execute it with full risk. So the reason was small volume, and out of nowhere the volume came on these two M5 candles. So there was no way I could have anticipated this volume, other than the fact that M15 and M30 candles have done a fake out above previous M30 candle high when the trend is bullish, and a lot of people were got caught in the buys. So at this point, close everything and let's see what happens next. So yeah, in my opinion, the move is already over. Yeah, in my opinion, the move is already over, and if we take above these areas, we can continue up. And yeah, once we created a wick on hourly time frame, I was anticipating that price will find a support somewhere and will go in buys. So technically, I was looking for those buys in this area, in this area, and in this area, but those buys weren't favorable. And now we have approached in this area, and we are creating this M50 low at a very important point. Maybe that support is now formed, but the whole idea is that I need to wait for bullish M30 candle to close in order to execute a buy position. But in some very rare instances, I have seen that prices create an M15 lows. So I am just for now I am looking into more details when and why prices create M15 lows and move the other direction. So this this is a learning area for me. I want to details. I want to find some similarities in this trade setup. So today is 18th of April, and on 18th of April 2023, exactly 1 year from now, the same M15 candle low pattern appeared, and I got caught out in the wrong direction. So I write in my journal when those M15s appear and how to execute trade. So now we that M30 candle has closed bullish, and now I am looking for buys. And there are a couple ways for me to execute a position. If we approach here in this area based on M15 time frame, I may execute a buy. And as we have broken below previous M5 candle low, now I am waiting for one M5 candle to close bullish so that I can confidently execute my position by placing a stop loss of, this is 44 pips. I don't want to execute a position with the stop loss. M5 candle has closed bullish. M15 candle is about to close in 5 minutes. So what's the probability that this M15 candle will turn bullish? And if I look at so I want to execute this trade very badly, but the whole idea is the stop loss is huge, around 50 pips. So I will execute my full risk, place buy, but my stop loss will be M5 low instead of this area. And if the M15 candle closes bearish, I will be get some other things then. Now waiting for these candles to close. Alright, M50 candle has closed. And the second half of this M30 candle. Now what is the probability that in the next 15 minutes we will turn bullish on this M30 candle? So now I will close everything. I will again place a buy stop if take above previous M5 candle high. Because if we are to move up, break above that high, and if we didn't break above that high, then maybe this resistance will work out. Actually, if I look at my buy stop is only 5 pip away from the previous M5 candle high, so I will essentially place a buy stop above previous M50 high in anticipation that we can up if we break above that area by placing a stop loss of around 26 pips. I do that we can push up, but for that we need. Now is the last 10 minutes of this M30 candle. Our buy stop got active. Now I am not anticipating prices to break below this M5 candle low. That happens, I will be out and we will just call it a day because our trading day has already ended. Essentially, I shouldn't have executed this trade with my full lot size. The reason being we are approaching towards 1900 hours, which in 1900 hours the volume usually dies out. So I think so that I am caught in a very bad position. So if I take below previous M5 candle low, I will cut my position and just call it a day. Now the M30 candle has closed, but just by looking at this M30 candle, I do believe that we can retest this area if we are to go in buys. So I will self out of this. Yeah, that's what I was at. And now the volume is very low. I am not anticipating that day. So I will just call it a day. And now we will look at our history. How much we gained and lost today. Today is 1st of April. In 1st of April, sorry, today is 18th of April. I made 48. Yeah, I made a lot today. 48, 60, 110 plus 20, 130 plus 30, 160 plus 14. 175 US dollars today. And if I look at on 18th of April, I made around 60. So it is around $220 of profit, around 150 pips. So it was a very good session, and I will see you with another simulation sessions. Unless then, take care, have fun, and I will see you.